The dust motes danced in the lone shaft of light, illuminating a forgotten corner of an old attic. 70 years had etched lines on Arthur Miller's face, but nothing could dull the sudden, jarring shock in his eyes. His hand, gnarled with age, trembled as it clutched a thick, yellowed envelope. Unmarked, unsent, yet addressed to "My dearest Ilara." 50 years. 50 years this declaration of love had lain hidden, a silent testament to a moment of courage never seized. With a slow, deliberate breath, Arthur broke the brittle seal. As his eyes fell upon his own youthful handwriting, the words sprang forth, a whisper from a bygone era, echoing the raw, unbridled passion of a young man deeply, desperately in love. This was more than a letter. It was a ghost that now, finally, demanded to be heard. The letter unfolded, pages crisp and fragile, a time capsule of unexpressed emotion. "My dearest Ilara," it began, "I sit here, the night air cool against my window, and all I can think of is you." The narrator's voice, steady and calm, now carries Arthur's unspoken words, painting a vivid picture of a world 5 decades past. It was a world where Arthur, then in his vibrant 20s, sat hunched over a desk, pouring his entire soul onto paper. He spoke of Ilara's laughter, a melody that filled his days, her eyes like stars, her spirit the most beautiful thing he had ever encountered. Every sentence was a promise, every word a dream woven for a future he yearned to share with her. He wrote of stolen moments in sun-dappled parks, of whispered secrets in bustling diners, of shared milkshakes and a hand held tight beneath a starry sky. He confessed a love so profound, so overwhelming, that it eclipsed all reason. "I know this might sound foolishly fast," he had penned, "but my heart knows what it feels. I love you, Ilara. I love you with a depth I never knew possible, and I want to spend the rest of my life proving it to you." The final sentence hung in the air, a poignant question mark over Arthur's entire existence. He reread the last lines, his vision blurring, the words a bittersweet reminder of a path not taken. Why? Why had he never sent it? The answer, he knew, was simple. Fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of the unknown. Fear of a commitment so absolute it demanded everything. He had waited, believing a perfect moment would arrive, a moment when he was ready. But perfection, as life so often teaches, is an illusion. The moment had passed, and the letter had remained, a silent scream of regret tucked away in an attic box. The vibrant images of his youth, the playful smiles and stolen glances with Ilara now flickered in his mind, sharp and painful. He had chosen caution over courage, and the cost had been a lifetime of wondering. Yet, as he held the letter, a different emotion began to stir, slowly, steadily, pushing through the layers of regret. It was a quiet, resolute spark of determination, a whisper from the past, yes, but also a call to the present. "It's not too late," he murmured, his voice firming, the ghost of a smile gracing his lips. The search begins. The following morning, the quiet solitude of Arthur's kitchen became a command center. A worn map of the region was spread across his table, adorned with a magnifying glass and an old battered phone book. While he was no stranger to the modern world, technology felt like a necessary, somewhat clumsy accomplice in his quest. His fingers, stiff with age, fumbled with the keys of his laptop, slowly typing Ilara Davies, her maiden name, the name he remembered, into a search engine. The digital world yielded clues, fragments of a life lived, a name found in an old obituary, Ilara Thompson, a woman survived by her sister, Ilara Davies. A faint glimmer of hope then, a beacon in the digital sea of forgotten souls. He narrowed his search, focusing on a charming nearby town. Then a match, an art gallery owner, Ilara's Gallery. His heart gave a joyful, surprising leap. Ilara, the girl who had always sketched and dreamed, now owned a gallery. It felt right. It felt like destiny, finally catching up. With new purpose, Arthur began his journey. His old car, a reliable companion through many years, rumbled to life, carrying him away from the familiar comfort of his home. The countryside unfolded before him, a tapestry of rolling hills and winding roads. As the miles passed, his mind drifted, revisiting the past. He remembered a sunset by a glistening lake, Ilara's head resting on his shoulder, her question hanging in the air. "What is it, Arthur? You look like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders." He had wanted to give her the letter then, to confess everything. But the words had died on his tongue, replaced by a nervous laugh, an evasive answer. She had seen the flicker of disappointment in her eyes, quickly hidden by a brave smile. He had failed her then. A sharp pang of regret pierced him, but it was quickly overshadowed by the surge of hope for what lay ahead. This time, there would be no retreat. This time, the words would be spoken. A gallery of memories. The quaint main street of the small town welcomed him, lined with charming shops. He found Ilara's Gallery, a beautiful modern space, a testament to her enduring passion. He parked, his heart pounding a rhythm he hadn't felt in decades. He gripped the unsent envelope, a tangible link between his past and present, a physical manifestation of his courage. Stepping inside, the gallery was a vibrant haven of color and light, classical music gently filling the air. He scanned the room, his eyes searching, until he saw her. Ilara. She was older now, of course, her silver hair elegantly styled, but the spark in her eyes, the grace in her movements were unmistakably hers. She was talking on the phone, her voice animated, a vibrant energy still radiating from her. As she finished her call, her gaze, soft and curious, met his. There was a moment of hesitant recognition, a flicker of something familiar in her eyes, though the name had not yet surfaced. "Can I help you, sir?" she asked, her voice carrying a warmth he remembered. "Ilara," he began, his voice a little hoarse with emotion. "It's Arthur. Arthur Miller." Her eyes widened, the smile faltering, replaced by a mixture of shock and dawning realization. "Arthur Miller," she whispered, the name a ghost on her lips. "My goodness, it's been decades." 50 years. The weight of those words hung in the air, thick with unspoken history. He held out the envelope, the silent witness to his cowardice and his enduring love. "I found something," he explained, his voice gaining strength. "Something I should have given you a long time ago." Ilara took the letter, her fingers brushing his, a jolt of connection passing between them. She looked from the envelope to him, a myriad of emotions playing on her face. "What is this?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "A letter," Arthur replied, his gaze unwavering. "A love letter. I wrote it for you 50 years ago, and I never sent it." The unfolding truth. Ilara's hand trembled as she held the confession of a lifetime. She led him to her office, a warm, inviting space filled with books and art, and they sat opposite each other, a small antique table, now a silent confidant between them. With trembling fingers, she broke the seal, pulling out the aged pages. "I remember this paper," she murmured, her voice laced with a bittersweet nostalgia. As she began to read, Arthur watched her, his own heart pounding. He saw the emotions sweep across her face: surprise, disbelief, a touch of pain, and finally, a profound, aching understanding. The words he had penned in his youth, now read by the woman he had loved, carried a power that transcended time. "I was a coward, Ilara," Arthur confessed, his voice thick with the weight of decades of regret. "I had the letter, I had the feelings, but I was so young, so afraid of rejection, of commitment. I thought if I waited, if I was ready, it would be